What's up, everybody? For those tuning in for the first time, thanks for clicking on this video. For those who are subscribed and watched a few of my videos, welcome back. I guess first off, I'm gonna talk about what we're doing here. Taking a hike from Canyon Falls to hopefully Sugarloaf Mountain in Marquette. For those who are familiar, we're on the North Country Trail. We're actually on a piece of it is a road for quite a ways here, so I thought I'd do a little bit of filming. What we're trying to do here is keep ourselves honest through the winter here, and this is a spring hike. Like I said, 82 miles is just a way to challenge yourself, keep ourselves in shape. We enjoy Western hunting, and it sucks getting in shape to go out there. So I guess the idea behind this is to just not get out of shape. And if you schedule something like this in the spring, it keeps you honest through the winter and keeps you off the couch. Like a lot of the content that I put together, the idea is to focus on do-it-yourself projects that are functional, you know, things that you'll use in everyday life or on adventures like this. What I do is I go to YouTube and I dig around through a bunch of different videos that have something to do with what I'm trying to do, or things that maybe are similar to what I'm wanting to do, but are maybe have a different purpose altogether. But I can grab ideas from all of them and put them together in what I think is the best possible product, you know, that caters to what I'm doing or my specific needs. Now, with that said, the premise of this particular project was to build a highly functional, lightweight, indestructible backcountry saw that cuts better than any other backcountry saw on the market, but also feels good in the hand and uses a blade that can be sourced anywhere in the country. I believe this build or this saw does check all those boxes, but in the end, the expense is really the deal breaker. I guess if you stumbled onto this video looking for lightweight saws or backpacking saws, or it's likely that you ran across the video that inspired me to make my saw. There's a YouTube channel called Knife Point. He put together a very similar saw. Basically, the changes I made from his was increasing the diameter of the handle, which allowed my blade to be stowed within the handle, so that when I throw it in my pack, it keeps everything in my pack as well as my pack from being damaged from a loose blade. That's really all I changed. In changing that, in bumping up that diameter, like I said, it did increase the weight of the saw, but what it did do is improve the ergonomics, I guess, or the way the saw is just so comfortable in the hand with that bigger diameter handle. I love it. To me, it's worth a few extra ounces for that comfort and the peace of mind that stuff in my pack isn't going to get damaged. Oh, so Johnny finally caught back up to me. The poor guy is struggling. Can't keep up with me. Oh, I had to freaking wait and wait and wait and wait. Oh.
Easy to catch.
No, he had some foot repair to do back there, and I figured it'd be a good time to get ahead to him so he doesn't have to listen to me. He doesn't have to listen to me talk. Yeah, he had a flat tire, I guess. But anyway, if you guys are interested in some of the products that I use to make it, you could head on over to Rock West. I guess I'll put some information on the screen here. I'll show the tubing that I did use, and then the tubing that I should have used. Like I said, I went with too thick a tubing, but to speed things up, go with that thinner wall, and it'll save you a lot of sanding time on a lathe. But yeah, you can see both of them are pretty pricey, but the one I ended up getting was more pricey. I should have went with the other one. I was too chicken. I thought thought I would buy it and it would be too thin, and then I'd have to go buy the thicker one in the end. So that's the route I took. So next we'll talk about the machine work that was involved. I guess if you have your own lathe, metal lathe, you could cut this cost way down, but I don't, unfortunately. Maybe someday I will, that'd be great. I had to go to a machine shop. I drew up some plans, gave them to them, and they turned 3 different pieces. One end cap for the butt end out of a block of aluminum that was machined to match the identical inside diameter of that carbon tubing, which then would accept the reciprocating saw blade when stowing it and throwing it in your pack. That end piece also acts as a place where the T-handle rubs on, and it doesn't wear down that carbon fiber when you're tensioning the blade. Whew, climbing a hill here, getting a little winded. So next, there's 3 parts. The next part would be the aluminum end cap for the top, which basically will accept a stainless steel, like a bushing shape part. That bushing the stainless steel bushing would be inserted into that aluminum end cap and placed over the top of the handle. The inside diameter of that stainless steel end cap matches the exact size of the end of the reciprocating saw and holds it super tight in that position when tensioned. All this was very expensive, unfortunately, given I had to farm it out, but in the end, this saw cost way too much. No one's probably gonna want to ever do it, but if you have the machining to do it and you buy the right size tubing, you can do it pretty inexpensively, actually. And I would recommend that. We're about 14.25 miles in to our hike on day 1. Got, I think, about another 9 miles to go to our destination. Hopefully we get there before dark, but we might have a little time spent in the dark. But I guess the next thing I wanted to talk about is the blade. These things are, you can find them anywhere, like I said before, any hardware store in North America, probably even further. You can find these saw blades, and they're very inexpensive and they're nearly indestructible. So long as you're not running them through rock or onto metal or anything, they should last for nearly ever. But it's just a simple Sawzall blade. And if you have a manufactured backcountry saw or backpacking saw, those usually have a product or a blade that fits specifically for that. And you can't just find them anywhere. You got to order them, and they're expensive, and honestly they don't hold up or cut as good. These Sawzall blades will cut through hardwood and softwood alike. They don't care. So that really is the bread and butter of this saw. The other stuff is just there to try to make it lighter and stronger and cooler. Next up is the tensioning line. This is made from a 2.2 millimeter Zingit line, which is a Dyneema fiber. I believe the Dyneema fiber that it's made from is the same fiber that's used in synthetic winch cables. It's one of the strongest man-made materials there is. But the best part of it is it has virtually zero stretch, and that is what we're after for this product. Using a bootlace or some paracord or some other kind of string will work in a pinch, but it really, those products stretch and it just doesn't work out. Basically, the Zingit line, you loop it around a bent cotter pin that's connected to that Sawzall blade. Pass that line through the handle to the other side. Find a stick from anywhere that's about the size of your thumb. Nice hardwood stick or a hardy stick. Stick it in there, twist it and twist it, twist it until it tensions that thing rock solid. That blade does not budge and will not move. It's great. The reason behind the tensioning stick T-handle is to give you a better grip that these blades do bite really hard. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but having that T-handle really gives you some good leverage. And also, we use a stick because it saves weight. You're not carrying it, you can just find it anywhere. You don't have to have a dedicated stick or T-handle in your pack. Lastly, we got the rubber end cap that I put on there. That's simply just a hydraulic line fitting end cap that I cut a piece off of, and happens to fit exactly the outside diameter of that end cap. And basically I just use that to hold that Sawzall blade from coming out of the handle, and also it keeps it from rattling around. Like I said, the intent of this saw initially was just to be used for Western hunting, and without that cap on there or something to retain that blade from rattling around, it makes some noise. So I put that on there. It adds a little weight, but gives me a little peace of mind for stalking in on prey or just simply annoyance, and also makes me feel warm and fuzzy that the blade isn't going to come out in my pack. Though that 12-inch blade that we had talked about, that reciprocating saw blade for wood, that is the blade of choice. My buddy here, John, a little closer up view of him maybe. You can recognize him from being the epic chuckler from the Montana hunt. He had said, or he had thought that maybe you could fit another blade in there, which given those saw blades that I use are basically indestructible, it really wouldn't be necessary, I thought. But he had made a point about maybe putting a metal saw blade in there. And like I said, we do spend some time out west, and there can be a real concern with wildfire out there, and it's big land, right? And you may find yourself at some point on the wrong side of a gate. You never know. And you might be glad you had that extra blade in there, and you could maybe cut a lock off a gate.
Or a bone saw.
Or a bone saw, yeah.
Any different blade.
Exactly. I mean, I like the idea of having that saw for the metal too. Probably will never ever need it. Just like you'll probably never ever need that bear gun on your hip, but it sure would be nice to have it if you did need it. So I thought that was a good thought, and something I might consider when we're out there next year. In the end, the cost of this saw is a deal breaker, unfortunately. But given that I got to this point, I'm happy I went through with it. It's an amazing saw that cuts quickly, it's lightweight, it's super durable, rides in the pack worry-free, feels comfortable in the hand, and is insanely strong. If it wasn't for that price tag, it would be a slam dunk. Like I said, there are ways that you can cut that cost. You can probably get it under $100 if you're able to do some machine work. But I hope you enjoyed this. I think my hiking partner will be happy to hear that I'm done with making this video, and we can get on with our journey. We're probably approaching 18 miles maybe by this point. We're trying to hit camp about 24 miles for the day. That should be dark by then probably. The next day we got a super aggressive attempt to do 44 miles. Sleep one more night, and the following morning get up, finish it out roughly 16 miles to Sugarloaf Mountain. For those who are familiar, in Marquette, Michigan. So Canyon Falls to Sugarloaf Mountain. From what I can see on mapping, it's 82 miles. I have a hunch that it's going to be something greater than that based off of how crazy windy these trails are, but we've lucked out. We're gaining some time here with this this gravel road. Probably a good 10 miles of this gravel road before we're back on the trail. So wish us luck, and thanks for watching.